Connected with Ralph Grasso from actually seeing a thing in our local paper here when Ralph came to town here. There was a little bio in the paper, and it talked about Ralph Grasso and all the great people that he had played with: Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett, Ella Fitzgerald, and Dinah Washington, and Barbra Streisand, and all the Smothers Brothers, and Glenn Campbell, and literally hundreds of people. And when I saw the write-up on Ralph, I said, geez, my whole life I played music kind of by the seat of my pants, by learning, and like probably most players do, kind of half-baked, so to speak. And so I saw what Ralph did, and being a guy who played with all the great composers, Nelson Riddle, Henry Mancini, Lalo Schifrin. He was the man that did studio work all the time, and so I wanted to meet Ralph and see about taking some lessons and learning some of his stuff. So when I met Ralph first, I was just blown away by his first guitar I saw. Was this Fender Kingman guitar, which has a Stratocaster neck on it and kind of a boxy looking old thing, and I was kind of like, holy smokes, didn't this guy make enough money to ever buy a really nice guitar? Because I thought he'd have a Martin or something like that. And he goes, oh no, I can't play those guitars, they don't play in tune all the way up the neck. And then as I started taking lessons with Ralph and listening to that Fender Kingman that Leo Fender personally made for Ralph, I was blown away by how great it sounded. The most magnificent sounding guitar I think I've ever heard. And certainly it was made for Ralph by Leo. And with Ralph, I learned to sight read music on guitar, classical, jazz, every different chord, how chords were made, real music notation, things that you would learn probably if you studied classical guitar. And through that, Ralph says I have a PhD in music now. Not just one, but two of them from studying with Ralph. And certainly it was a high point in my life. And Ralph always says, well, when I first met you, I thought I'd give you 3 lessons because you've been playing guitar for years. You've made a lot of money playing music, and you're old. All these old things that happen with. And so I started playing with Ralph when I was 50, and literally I probably wound up playing with Ralph 4 or 5 times a week within a year and a half's time. And at that point learned so much about Ralph, and going over all these great Universal Studio dates that he had, Pink Panther and Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, Hang 'em High, all of the Clint Eastwood's movies, and any number of Smothers Brothers and Chips, Chase Musics and stuff that I would see solely guitar, flugelhorn, clarinet, and play all these great classical pieces and car chases and pretty much, you name it, anything that went down with Nelson Riddle, I got a chance to see the original music and study it through Ralph. And same thing with Henry Mancini, see the Pink Panther and the original guitar parts. And I can't overemphasize, I've got 5 books at home that are about 6 inches thick, full of original movies and sound scores that Ralph did. And those were my education, so to speak, learning to play those pieces, and dotted 8/16, dotted 8/32, so many weird different types of notation, and tied notes together and stuff that he would see on a regular daily basis as a studio musician. Gave me a great background in chord melody, and all his great stories about Les Paul and Mary Ford, and his upbringing in New Jersey, and playing in New York so much, and all the great guys in jazz that Ralph met. And certainly things like the "I Dream of Jeannie" theme that he wrote, Mel Torme, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, about how that happened, and the different guys at a swimming pool in Beverly Hills in the middle of summer, and watching that being written, and nothing to say but the greatest guitar player I've ever seen. I've played with some really great people, taken lessons with guys like John Jorgensen and Raul Reynosa, and they are probably the best at what they do, and yet I have to admit, when I listen to Ralph play, they're kind of pale next to him. So I'm just blessed to have gone through that and learned so much. It certainly influenced my place in playing in my life, and even today I study music all the time, and right now I'm studying shred music, and a lot of Yngwie Malmsteen, and I'm studying with another Italian, Demi Barbito, who is one of the most fantastic shred guitar players ever. And so I would tell everybody who is a guitar player, if you want to be good, study with the best in the world, and it will influence you to no end to become a great picker.